Hi, how are you? This is JilliBling. Today's project is number 3 out of 4 using the new November online exclusives. It's a product suite called Petals of Beauty. So here it is. Isn't that fun? And this set is a lot of fun. I'll show you that in just a minute. So Just Because is a stamp, and it could be Just Because in this font or Just Because in the script font, the larger font. All kinds of little add-ons. And it also, the dies include, or the bundle includes these dies. Notice how that's 3 layers, and you could stamp the Just Because on it and then cut it out. So that could be almost like 4 different layers of color. So I was thinking that this print, which I absolutely love, was a little bit too busy for this card, and then I thought, well, the product suite is vellum. What if I put vellum over it? Make sure to put it on with dimensionals, because if it's on just flat on the paper, let me see what I have here. If it's just flat on the paper, it's more see-through. So that's just flat. But see how you can see the flowers, the print right underneath it? And I think with it raised up a little bit, it kind of softens it a bit. Therefore, the words and the flowers stand out just a little bit more. So this is today's project. So we'll be using Petals of Beauty bundle, which includes stamps and dies, and this is the new packaging. So Petals of Beauty, it's a little bit wider, like a 1/4 inch wider, and maybe 2 inches or 1.5 inches taller. And everything is now going to be polymer, and it's going to come in these little pouches. And these are working out pretty well for me. I was a little bit concerned at first, how am I going to integrate it with my current, the jewel case boxes, but so far so good. It's working out pretty good. So we'll use this bundle, Petals of Beauty, with the flowers, and there's a few additional add-ons. And then these cut out the images, which we'll do today. Also in the product suite is another bundle, and it's called Words of Beauty. So I have Words of Beauty bundle, same size packaging, Words of Beauty polymer stamp set. This is the dies, and it says right here Words of Beauty. So I thought I'd use my label maker and put it up there. But see the 1, 2, 3 different layers of dies, and they're all different thickness. This one is super fine, this one's a little bit bolder, just for layering. And then these dies are perfect for Just Because you're a great friend, just because you're so lovely, just because you've been on my mind, just because you're so kind or sweet. And all of these words will fit into one of these 3 dies. So this is a lot of fun. I have a feeling we all will be seeing this quite a bit in the next few months or so. And then an old die set, which is probably just a few weeks old, but I have it in the old packaging. It's called Branching Out, and it is paired with the Branching Out stamp set, which I'll be using soon. But I love, look at all these nesting dies. Oh, I love them. Okay, here we go. Just Because. Oh, and like I said, this is going to be 4 that I've picked out using this paper. I'll show you the paper here in just a minute. But here is project number 3, 2, and project number 1. Isn't that pretty? And this is one of the dies that are in the bundle. And these gems, they're called pearl, what is it? Pearls of Beauty. Hey, how did that one come off? That's so nice and white too. I was trying to use it on this project. Today's project. So there's that one. There's this one. This is part of the paper package. And then I use the rub-ons, my new favorite thing. I use the embossing folder, which is part of the suite. And then I use the rub-ons down here too. This one, I love all of them. And then here's today's. Okay, let's get started. When has my pile ever been that small? You know what? I didn't pull over the designer paper. Let me show you the designer paper. The vellum comes in 12 by 12. The designer paper is very pretty. So this is the page we'll be using today. This was project number 1. But I've had 3 packages and I think I have a little bit over 1 package left. So this is project number 2. Those were cut out. That's fun. Today's. And on the back side is Lost Lagoon. Fun. Calypso Coral. First project with Mossy Meadow on the back. Look at those together. Isn't that pretty? This is going to be used on the next project. And this is going to be used on the next project. Isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to mix it with Cajun Craze. Have you ever seen me use Cajun Craze? I could say I don't use it much, but it works really well with tomorrow's card. But it's just so pretty, such pretty paper. Okay, we will be using these new gems. That one just keeps jumping off. What am I gonna do? I should put it on. It has sticky on it. Pearls of Beauty. This is for Stampin' Flowers on. Here's the papers. We could start out with Stampin' the Flowers. So, oh, and then this little paper is November online exclusives. And starting November 4th, you could go online and just say what's new, and you'll get to see everything in here. Okay, so to stamp the flowers, I tried so many different color combinations. If you look at this paper, what color are your flowers going to be? I see Calypso Coral. I see Petal Pink on these. I see Darling Duckling, Lemon Lolly, kind of vanilla. In the center, I see Lemon Lolly and Espresso. But when I tried all of those colors using the stamp set, let me show you the stamp set, everything just was kind of, no. But I finally came up with something that I think looks good. So this is 2-step stamping, where step 1, then over the top, step 2. Same with these little mini flowers. This is a little bit bolder, so perhaps in a lighter color. Step 1, step 2. Step 1, step 2. All of that. It's a lot of fun. So let's start out with, I have coral here. Let's do 3 mini flowers because we have 1, 2, 3 of the mini flowers. So I have the 2 stamps, and I'm going to do the detailed one first. And what I mean by that is see how this one is bolder. This one has more of the detail. I'm going to start with this one. And I could show you why. I'll show you why I start with that one, because sometimes it's better to start with the other one. But today, let's do detailed, 3 of them. While I'm at it, I'll do 4. I'm going to do a few more of these cards. I really like them. Okay, and then this one, and before I ink it, I'm going to look at the placement and see this kind of little heart shaped. That's right up here. So I'm going to take this, stamp off, then stamp it onto the detail. And see how I could see through it for placement? That's really helpful. And I said I'm going to show you if you do it the opposite way. This I'm planning on discarding this, but I'll show you. So if you started with a bold one, stamp off, put that here. Woohoo, looks good. And when you go to do this one, seeing through the inked up stamp is a little bit hard. Trying to see a color underneath it even lighter is kind of hard. So let's go back to this method. The detail full strength is already done. So let's do the lighter one. Let me check the placement, that's good. And when you stamp off, I found it's best if you could stamp on your scratch paper in a clean spot. And that's because if you stamp over the same spot, this paper right here that already has the ink on it is not as thirsty as paper with no ink on it. And it might make your stamped image a little bit distorted. One time I was just stamping anywhere and I had some, I think Lost Lagoon from some other project, and I stamped off. Lost Lagoon was transferred to mine. It was a lemon lolly flower. I was like, oh, that's not good. I'm like, how did I get that dirty? And then I recognized the pattern. It was some words. I'm like, really? I didn't know that that would happen. Dude, I know now. Okay, so we only need 3 of these, but did 4. So now for the bigger flower, I'm going to do the same thing in Petal Pink. And it's a little bit buried. It's right here, the Petal Pink flower. So here's Petal Pink ink. I'll do the detail first, which is this one. Okay. This one I'm going to check the placement. I think it goes, nope. Goes like that. Now stamp off right here. It's like the stamp wants to hang out and the stamp has like sticking. Okay, there it is. Oh, that turned out really pretty. I could show you the combinations I was trying earlier. It's just best to do, in my world, I think it's best to do color on color. So that's the Petal Pink. And after you cut it out, it comes into focus just a little bit more, because right here you're like, I barely see that pink. But when I'm looking at it in person, it is just very faint, very light. And then Calypso Coral. Okay, so there are dies to cut these out. So this one, cut out that one, and this one will cut out those. Okay, so I'm going to cut those out. And there they are. Okay, so on the vellum, there are dies to cut out, just kind of like, what do they call the leaves when you could kind of see through them and you just see the veins are just part of the leaf remains? It's going to come to me. I think it's like skeleton leaves. So this is just a little, let me get something dark. Does that help or not really? Not really. Here's another project, an old project I'm working on. There you go, now you can see it. See how the vellum, just laying it over the top, it kind of softens the look of the flower. Because if I were to put these flowers on the card, just like that. First of all, it's really busy and they kind of get lost in there. But after you have the vellum on, it's nice for them to be a little bit softer so it's closer to what the designer paper looks like. Okay, we'll come right back to this. And I notice this leaf die. So I'm going to cut out 3 of the little ones and 1 of the big one. And those are right here. Okay, so this leaf is right here. There's a die. There's a die for that. Looks like I'm not seeing the paper. I know I have lots of strips of paper. Here it is. Let's see if that one will fit. Ooh, it's close, but should I try it? Do you do that? Do you try to be frugal with paper? Okay, so to do the leaf, I'm going to do it in Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to do the veins in Early Espresso. Mossy Meadow, right here. Okay, here we go. Good. You're like, that turned out really dark. So to do the next step, which is the Early Espresso veins over the top, that's this stamp right here. Early Espresso always makes your stamps kind of turn pink. And because the Mossy Meadow is still a little bit wet, and I want a nice crisp, the veins stamp, I'm going to pause for just a minute, and then I'll stamp it. So what else do we have over here? Glue dot, linen thread. Linen thread is a double bow. I could do that. So yesterday I went out and I got 3 injections, 3 immunizations. And the lady at the front says, I think you can only do 2. Let me talk to the pharmacist. The pharmacist says, you can do 3, but we recommend just 2. And I'm like, well, like, do they contradict or does it make it less effective? She goes, no, but if you feel bad with 1, you feel double bad with 2, you're going to feel triple bad with 3. I'm like, well, she goes, but you can if you really want. I said, you know what? I want to get it done. So I did it and I feel pretty good. I feel just fine. So I'm happy I did it. Anyhow, so I'm going to cut this out with vellum. I have the paper somewhere. I'm just not coordinated today. But here's the completed one. So Tony is he's having another surgery. He's having a hernia surgery next week. And he's like, I wonder if I could still have my shots. So he called and they said, nope, not 2 weeks before, not 2 weeks after. So he called them to cancel. And the lady on the phone, she said, well, I'll reschedule you, but you can't do 3 at one time. He said, my wife was there yesterday and she did 3. She goes, no, you can't do that. And I heard, because he always puts everything on speaker. I said, I did it. She looked it up. She goes, oh, well, she was warned not to do that, right? I said, yeah, I was. But it's fine. It's just fine. Sure, my arms hurt, or just one arm hurts a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna cut that out. So, remember how I said I was gonna pause? Do you know, can you see the espresso ink on there? See how it's still nice and crisp, just like a stamp should do? If I stamped it while the Mossy Meadow ink was still wet, they would just kind of meld with each other and it wouldn't be such a crisp image. Okay, we have lots of pieces. So these pieces, I'll show them to you. I have it already done, but I'll show them to you. Let's start with just then because here. So if it's like a big, soft, loopy outline, that's the bottom layer. The super fine detailed one, this one is the top layer. 3 layers for one word. There it is. So do you notice the difference, the look in the 3 of them? Super detailed, somewhat detailed, not detailed at all. So now when you look at these, it's like, oh yeah, I see all 3 layers. Okay. Here we are. So let's get these stuck together since they're right here. And I'm keeping my mat, I just ordered a new one because this one has all kinds of holes poked in it. But now that everything is going to be polymer, I'll probably be using this for every project. Okay, let's get these stuck together. Oop, punch that out. Oh, did it not cut all the way through? It's really close. I wonder if I had it at the edge or something. And I know that the dot to the J is still in the die because I did it once, I couldn't find the dot. So I did it again and I went to use my little pokey tool, my picker-upper tool, and it went flying somewhere and I couldn't find it. I even had my camera flashlight and I was looking, I couldn't find it. So I cut one more. It's like, I'm just gonna leave it in the die until it's time. So I'm doing just half of the J, because if I had, or just half of the just, because if I did the whole thing, trying to position it, you know my fingers would be all sticky, gluey, messy. I think that's probably just the life of a stamper. I have too much glue right there. I should be using pokey. Well, that's better. Okay, now I'm gonna retrieve that J, the dot. Nope, no dies there. Here it is, and I see the dot is still in there. Okay, so just a touch of glue, just a tiny dot. Okay, there, it remains. Pick this up, put it in place, then get it positioned. Okay, that's done. Half of the just is done. I'll do the rest in a minute. Because this is kind of easy to hang on to, I'll do this whole crumb cake, glue on the whole crumb cake word. Then I'll go back and I'll do the top mossy meadow. I've always loved these dies. Okay, kind of fold that back. This time I'll try to be lighter with the glue. I just put Warren down for a nap. Didn't take him long to fall asleep. So when it comes to changing his diaper, I always have something there for him to hold on to and check out. And because I had so many things over there, I had a picture of his parents. I had one of his favorite Hot Wheel cars, and it's an RV. And on the side, there's this little lever, and you could open and close the door, and he's fascinated by that. And at one point, I gave him a dryer ball, and he thinks that is the coolest thing because it has all kinds of like little nubs on it. What What else does he have in there? He has a ball that has something that spins inside of it. That's fun. And I have Emma's graduation tassel because she has no interest in it. She's like, oh, just throw it away. I'm like, I'm not going to throw that away. Anyhow, how old is Warren? He's about to turn 1 year old, and he's been playing with it all this time. And I tickle his face with it, tickle his leg with it. I mean, it's the best toy. So I finally put all of those in like a little mini basket right by the changing table, and he gets to choose one every day. So as we went in there for nap today, he was pointing. Oh, he's so cute with his his little finger. He points at things. Sometimes he points at just nothing. Well, I think it's nothing. But as we were going to take a nap, he pointed at the container like, do I get something? So he's taking a nap with a dryer ball. It doesn't have anything on it. I've never used dryer balls before. My sister-in-law, Kathy, we were shopping somewhere, and she goes, have you used these? I'm like, no, I don't know. We use dryer sheets, but not the dryer balls. I've seen other people. I think they're cute, especially if they're in a basket in a decorated laundry room. I said, but I haven't used them. She goes, I'm going to get some. So she gave me half. I think she got 4, and she gave me 2 of them. And they're just looking cute in the laundry room. Haven't used them, or I tried using them for the purpose, but I don't know if they really did anything. Anyhow, he's sleeping, which is nice, because then I get to do playing. It's like, what should I work on next? Thinking Christmas is coming. Just because I have a lot of Christmas sets that I bought from, I think it was the September online exclusives and then the catalog. Oh, there's so much stuff. Well, there's always so much stuff. I bought so much stuff. I have to use it. Okay, there's our just because. Looks good, huh? I tried putting petal pink into the mix here, and it made it look more spring than fall, so went away. Okay, let's see where we are. We have all kinds of elements ready to go. Let's just start building the card. Maybe everything is here. I know we had to stamp on the inside. Okay, Mossy Meadow. Oh, and the paper cut sizes are in the video description. So if you're watching the video, I think after the title, it has 3 dots. Or maybe it says description or more. I think it says more. And if you click on that, you can just see information, including all the products used, the item numbers. I have a whole list there. So this just gets attached. So this paper is quite random, but when you really study it and look at it, to me it looks like all the stems are coming from this direction going up. Therefore, I'm going to consider this the bottom and that the top. I think if you put it on upside down, it would be just fine. See, that's just so pretty. Oh, and you know how I was concerned this card is just too busy? Let me show you something with that paper. Hold on. Okay, so here's the paper. So I was doing this. Like all this prettiness, that's too busy. That gets lost. Okay, what about the next one? That's the same sheet. How about here? Okay, watch that. I was like, oh, that's better. Like you could see everything. That's why these papers were all a mess. Okay, now watch this one. What do you think? Do you think that the coral it's going to be good or bad. See, it kind of gets lost because the flowers are very similar. Okay, what about the other? This is the other side of the coral. Oh, we already did that one, right? Nope. Too busy. What about this one? What do you think? It's okay, but it's still busy. But this little practice here, it was like, wow, what a difference. I think we already did this one. Yeah, this one is okay, but still a no. Okay, what about this one? No, that's just too much. What's on the back? I think we did that, didn't we? No, we didn't. Will we get to it later? The back is this one here. We'll get to it. I won't take too long. That's too busy. That isn't bad. See, now that might work. No. So far, I think the petal pink, this one is winner. But isn't that interesting how very different it is? See, that I would think would work because there's the white outline around the flowers, but it gets lost. Okay, what's on the back side? And I promise we're almost done. That's completely lost. It's like, oh, you have a few orange flowers in there. Nope. We've probably already done some of these. But I just think it was really interesting to flip through all these. So I think the answer is neutral. Nope. That's what we're using. And we did that other side. Okay. Are you exhausted? So you're probably like, well, why did you choose that busy one? Because when the vellum is on here, just flat, you could still see the pattern through. When you raise it up, you don't see so much. So you would think, okay, put the vellum on with dimensionals. But if I put a dimensional on the underside of the vellum, you could see through. Just about all adhesives you could see through. Therefore, let's decorate the vellum, put some flowers on it, and then we'll put dimensionals wherever something lays on top of the vellum. Okay, so we'll go here because, oh, we should probably make our little flowers. So the little experiment of what paper should this go on? Are you creatively exhausted now? I kind of am. I'm glad it's already been determined. This vellum piece just goes anywhere on there. I tried over and over to line them up, and it's not made to be lined up. So you can keep trying. You might have something that looks pretty good, but it doesn't match up in any way. So I'm just putting it on, letting it dry. Then we'll put gems on here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, did I do a fourth one? I did. The inside flower was a kind of a last minute add-on. One more. Okay, we'll just let those dry. Okay, back to where we were. This is going to get a flower underneath it just to make the word stand out a little bit more. So I'll go about there. This will go up here. One flower for the inside, and then these two. Okay, so now it's time to stick it down. And I'll do it with dimensionals. bit of glue. Go right about here. Maybe I'll stick this one down with glue. So there's kind of different levels. This one is underneath the petal pink. Cover up that little stem, maybe. The word because will cover it up. Okay, flowers are on. Okay, so now the words will go on with dimensionals. Probably the mini, just because half and half. And because that's going to go over the flower, so I'll attach that with glue. Just get it kind of nestled up underneath the just and have the words kind of parallel. Okay, so that is done. So now we know where to put dimensionals on the back side of the vellum, because we know where it will not be seen. So I'm not going to cover all of it. I'll put it like on the perimeter. Yeah, I use a lot. Okay, then I'll get that put on, centered. But because it's raised up, I think it takes away a bit of the busy pattern. Okay, and then the double bow. He'll go on with a glue dot, followed up with glue. Then we could do the bling. So I'm taking the glue dot and I'm kind of rolling it into a burrito, just so it's small and it can be hidden underneath the linen thread. If I left it full size, I know it would be showing. Oop. Well, I distorted that bow. It was pretty. I really distorted it. Okay, so I'm going to just put it on the leaf and then just let the other pieces fall wherever they like. Then follow it up with glue. Maybe not that much glue. Wow. Okay, and then bling. Oh, I like the bling. The bling is, that white one just keeps trying to come off. I wonder how it would look on there. Because it keeps on trying to come off, I'm going to put white ones on the coral and a coral one on the petal pink. There. I think it was just calling out that it wanted to be on the card. And do a coral one. There, kind of pretty, huh? Okay, so the outside is done. The inside, the coral, small, that's kind of cute. Let's do that for right here. Okay, so to stamp on the inside, this one I did the regular font, just fancy because. So how about if we just choose something different than I think you're amazing? I think that's amazing words. Nope. Here we go. Just because it's your birthday, we can always use that. I appreciate you. Just because you've been on my mind. I've known quite a few people that are sick. What if we do that? So, is it in here? It's in here. You've been on my mind. Ugh, never been used before. So I'm going to stamp the just because. I'll start out with the word because. This is going to go right about here. I'm getting all these pieces lined up just because. Just for placement of the stamps. Here's the because. And now do that in Mossy Meadow. Oh, I need my little pad. We're stamping with polymer. You know what would be smart? Just like that. Don't disturb anything. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, it's kind of light over there. Well, magic paper, I'll try one more time, and then I'll take whichever one is best. You know what, that's kind of centered. Maybe a little bit bigger space to the left side. That one's good. And then here's the word just. That's going to be tucked right into here. Nice. And then our chosen words, you're on my mind. Oh, I had to do that dot, dot, dot. What is it? Ruby? Ruby said, you know what that dot, dot, dot means, don't you? And I'm like, that's just kind of a pause. She's like, no, that means, like, you know, dot, dot, dot. I'm like, no, it doesn't mean like you're implying that you're getting busy with someone or something. She goes, yes, it does. I'm like, no, it doesn't. But then I've noticed other friends also do the dot, dot, dot. So, and I know that they're not implying that. Anyhow, there, that's for Ruby. And she's not feeling good either. You've been on my mind, Ruby. Yeah. Okay, now see, that turned out pretty. It is a little bit busy. I have a lot of glue on the linen thread bow, but that's okay. Let's build this, and then we'll put it inside. And maybe that glue can dry. I have no more stories. Tony's going in for hernia surgery. I Told you that. Because he can't get his flu shot 14 days before or 14 days after. Or COVID or none of them. And we're getting RSV just because my doctor said, you're taking care of a baby, you need to get that. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyhow, so I haven't. Tony will be getting it. His surgery is on the Friday, not this coming Friday, but the next Friday. And the doctor wrote him out for, he was thinking like 2 or 3 weeks. The doctor wrote him out for 6 weeks. And he has all this time on the books, like sick time. And if he doesn't use it, he loses it. So I think that's perfect. You might have thought that I talked to the doctor or something. I didn't. So that's good. And then in, his birthday is February 2nd. And he says, I want to be here in the morning watching Good Morning America with my wife and grandson on my birthday. So I'm going to retire the Friday before. I think his birthday's on a Monday or a Sunday. So January 30th is a Friday. That's his last day of work. And you would think, woohoo! But then he went back to the boss man and said, but if you need me for a special trip, I'll do that. I'm like, oh, he can't help himself. So he's kind of retiring. He is retiring until they call him. Oh, another Tony story. Good, we're almost done here. He was putting, okay, so we have lots of security cameras around. I mean, a lot of security cameras. And he's putting up a different one or some kind of cover on it. And he was too lazy to get the ladder off of the truck because it was already strapped on. Because on the weekend, he was going to help the kids with their cabin. He put it up there. It started to fall. He noticed it was just sliding. So he jumped off. He goes, I landed on my feet. It's fine. Well, guess what? Guess whose feet are hurting him? Like limping, hurting him right now. He's like, oh, it's going to be better tomorrow. So let's hope that's not something. That could be the next surgery. Okay, there it is. They're the same but different. Okay, stay tuned for more episodes of Crazy Tony and Baby Warren. Okay, and Stampin', especially Stampin'. Okay, have a good one. Bye.